If you want to scale your roofing business, you need to have your business to be able to work for you in its sleep, where you could just kind of take a 2-week vacation and you're still making money, right? You need to automate things. So in this video, I'm going to go over the exact steps that you need to take in order to automate your roofing business. So in the first section, it's kind of like a mindset shift. I usually like to start off these videos with like mindset shifts, right? So the real reason why most roofers never automate is because they want full control, right? They want to micromanage their sales team. They want to micromanage their reps. They want to message their customers themselves, whatever it may be. You want that control, right? Because you think, if I'm not doing it, then it's not going to work, right? And that mindset is the reason why you're stuck at where you're at and you're not going to scale, right? You're stuck chasing leads. You're stuck confirming appointments, managing installs. You might be the only closer. You're just basically the only closer because you're micromanaging your closers, right? If everything depends on you, you're the bottleneck. You'll never be able to scale. You'll never be able to exit your company, right? Because there's a lot of key man risk, meaning your company completely depends on you to generate revenue, right? So you need to be able to scale without you, right? Automation isn't just software, isn't just apps. It's systems, processes, and people that work without you, right? People make the systems work. Automation and just automating your business is just having systems in place, and the people run the systems. They allow the systems to work, right? So you need to build a machine where you could take 2 weeks off, you could take 3 months off, and your business is at least maintaining its revenue, right? And it's not going to collapse and fold if you just stop going into work, right? Because if you have to be there, it's not scalable. You're limited to 24 hours in a day, right? Which means that you won't be able to scale past those 24 hours in a day. So you're not going to be able to scale past that, right? You'll be capped by the amount of time that you have in a day. So you need systems to work to where you could infinitely hire people and these systems run the business for you, right? So that's absolutely crucial if you're trying to scale your business, okay? And it might suck, like thinking like you have so much free time now that you have systems in place, and you feel like you're being lazy almost. You feel like you might not be doing anything at certain times. But the truth is, you built those systems to run so you don't have to do anything. And then anything that you do is just going to be the things that moves the needle forward, right? And actually scales your business up, okay? So that's just like kind of the first section, the mindset shift. Just wanted to get that out of the way and break that mindset that you may have in order to just automate your business, right? So section 2 is automating lead management and follow-up. And I'm going to kind of walk through exactly like how we do this, right? So there's mainly like 2 applications that we use. One of them is Go High Level, and that's kind of the main one here. That's the main one I'm going to go over, and another Zapier, right? So there's a lot of things you could do with both these softwares. Zapier, you could do more with it. High Level is really easy and really like integratable if you have High Level as your CRM, right? So a lot of roofers, they like to kind of do the lead management and follow up themselves. Maybe it's because they don't know how to automate, or maybe it's because they think it's better if they just do it themselves and they don't trust like a system or a machine, or maybe your closer, right? Maybe your setters also. Like, you could completely automate this and you'll save so much time and so much thought automating this stuff, right? Because if you think about it, if you have a setter, for example, and let's say they're doing lead follow-up and they're also doing confirms and sets, right? And they're like calling people, they're setting appointments, they're in their flow state, and then they remember, oh crap, I gotta follow up with Sally, you know? I gotta follow up with Sally, and now it breaks their flow of setting. But you want them to just be setting, right? That's the highest leverage thing they could be doing, is setting more leads, booking more appointments, and then you have the automations that take over that follow-up process to make sure people are gonna show up to their appointments, right? So even your setter, maybe you're not doing the follow-up, but maybe your setters are doing the follow-up, or maybe you have your closers doing manual follow-up. You shouldn't be doing that. That should be automated, because it's going to break their flow. It's going to give them more things to think about, and they're going to ultimately be less efficient in what you hired them for, which is going to be setting or closing, right? So you need to automate this process, and I'm going to show you how. So in High Level, we just have a simple, that's the wrong folder, we have a simple workflow, right? Very simple. You could do this differently, but customer booked appointment, we book them into a Go High Level calendar. It triggers this automation. See, it's a trigger, triggers the automation. We have it removed from other workflows. I'll go over that. And We have confirmation emails. We have appointment SMS, appointment confirmation SMS, and then we just have kind of reminders. And a key here, just a little tip, this doesn't really have to do with automation, but it has to do with making it work really well, is send a lot of messages. Don't be annoying and send one every hour, but like send a message at least, I would say, twice a day to them. Send a lot of messages, let them know their appointment time repeatedly, and be very personalized, right? People don't want to feel like they're getting messaged by an AI bot. There's a couple things you could do there, but you need to be very personalized, right? So like some of these, you'll just see like on our way there now. It's not like we're sending like this 3-paragraph message, okay? And like our texts tend to be the ones that are really personalized. Emails tend to be kind of more automated looking. Heading over there in a few hours, see you soon, right? Like looks really, really personalized, right? Another thing that you could do is you can make it sent through iMessage. There's a software called SendBlue that you can integrate with High Level, and you can make it iMessage text. So that's another thing that you can do to make it more personalized. You could also send voice messages through the software. Again, making it more personalized. So that's super important. But yeah, simple. Like it's so simple to set up. It's so easy. You literally just click this little plus and you write it like an SMS, and then you could go click the wait button and put before the appointment by 2 hours, 8 hours, whatever you want to do, and boom, that's it. That's automated SMS for your appointments, okay? So that's absolutely crucial that you have that set up just to save everybody time and make things way more efficient. Will it be better in terms of conversion rates than like your closer or your setter doing it manually? Probably not. But will other numbers go up because you're clearing that time and you're clearing that focus out? Yes, right? So, and it's essential for scale, right? Because if you're scaling, you're getting more leads and you don't have these systems in place. I'm sure there's gonna be people that we don't message. There's gonna be people that we forget to remind of their appointment. There's gonna be so much stuff that gets forgotten about and missed. And then now all of our numbers are dropping because we don't have a system in place, right? So super simple. You could do this through Zapier as well. If you want to use like Calendly or another calendar software, you could do this through High Level as well, or Zapier as well. They send you could use text and emails there. So again, like it's super simple to set up. Like it really doesn't require much effort. Especially like one day's work of setting this stuff up is a lot less effort than doing this manually, right? For any of your employees or even yourself, okay? So super simple, right? To just set up automated messaging, right, for your leads and your appointments. Okay, and now this brings me to section 3, which is automating your sales process. Okay, now this is where most of you guys struggle. You're your best closer, so you don't know how to replicate it, right? So if you throw someone else, you've probably hired somebody else, send them out to appointments, now you're losing money because they can't close. But that's not because you're the only one that knows how to sell roofing. It's because you don't know how to find other people that could sell your product, right? And that's the issue. So you need to figure out how to do that. So the best ways to systemize this is have a way where you're recording your sales so you could send this to people and they could replicate what you're doing. That's a big part. And you could also study your own film, and you could study your own film and build SOPs and processes around your sales process so you could replicate why your sales process is working. That's another thing. Have a bunch of touches before the appointment. So those automated reminders are touches. Calling and confirming, you could have a confirmation team call and confirm. That's another touch. You could have your social medias be hitting them with testimonials. That's another touch. So these are all automated processes that nurture and help the sales process for you to automate this process, right? So you could actually close systematically with new reps and different people, and you could hire people and you still have a well-oiled machine, right? So that's absolutely important that you have that as well. And you turn everything into an SOP. Just like I said, you're recording your calls, you're studying them, you're figuring out the exact process and frameworks that allow you to close so well. So when you hire somebody and you put them through an SOP, standard operating procedure, it's like a document with all this info, and you put them through that document, now they understand the framework that allows you to close well. So if they're good and you hired the right guy, now they're gonna close well, okay? Super simple stuff. Like, it's very simple, and a lot of people miss out on this stuff, but it's absolutely crucial that you have this if you want to scale, right? You need processes that are automated. An SOP is a system to an extent, right? You hire somebody, you send them an SOP, they get trained through the SOP without you doing anything besides setting it up that one time, right? So that's super important to have in place as well. Now that brings me to my final section, which is automating your fulfillment, right? I know this might sound like crazy, but as you scale your ads or your front end or your door knocking team or whatever it may be, now you're gonna need more closers to handle those appointments. You're gonna need more setters to handle the leads. You're gonna need more guys on the back end to actually install the roof, right? So you wanna actually clear up as much, manual work as possible so you can make your guys more efficient, so you will have to hire less people. So that's one thing that you could do. And then another thing is you need to have just a process of hiring people as you scale. You want to pace it exactly the same. So you're scaling your ads and you're also scaling your teams simultaneously, right? Because if you're just scaling your ads, then now your numbers are going to tank. You're going to be missing appointments. Shit's not going to go well. You're not going to even be able to install all the roofs, right? So, and vice versa, now you have a bunch of bloat and overhead, and you don't have the jobs and the revenue and the cash flow to support it, right? So you need to scale both of them simultaneously, okay? So, yeah, once sales are handled, we just talked about that, you need to have automated job scheduling, so like calendars, and it notifies your team. Automating your like material orders, automating customer updates on the roof timeline, right? So like, we're gonna show up at your house here this time, blah, 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 updating your customers automatically. I'll kind of show you like how I'll do this. I'll show you right now actually. So in high level, you could have little pipelines, right? So you could have a fulfillment like backend pipeline. I don't have this for an example, but you could have like a pipeline. Okay, so I'm actually gonna show you right now how this would kind of look in terms of automation. So what you could have is you have a little pipeline here, right? And you could have like certain people assigned to doing certain things, or you could even automate it in some of these senses. But you schedule the job, right, which you should probably have your closers do. They schedule the job now. The lead pops in a job scheduled. And here, let me create a lead for you guys actually. And now it's in job scheduled, and then you can move these leads kind of throughout the pipeline and drag them. And now you move them whoever needs to order the materials, or even if you could automate this, you have them go from here, they get assigned to somebody or whatever. Now you move them to materials ordered. And now you order the materials pretty much as soon as you schedule the job, right? And then materials arrive and like whatever other things that you want in here. But basically what this could do is in your automations, you could have different automations trigger, right? So if you want to update the customer, for example, you have the job get scheduled, it notifies them of the job getting scheduled. Now you move them to materials ordered, and you can notify the customer, we just ordered materials for your roof job, right? And like there's so many different automations that you could set up, like whatever you need, but you should automate this back end process as much as possible. And then also just have recruiting and hiring scale at the same pace of your ads. That's like another thing. Like you need recruiting systems in place. You could hire through LinkedIn, you could hire through Facebook ads, you could hire through referrals. So there's so many ways you could hire people. So yeah, you just need to have that process in place as well. Okay, now when you have all these systems kind of set up, now you're just the guy kind of overseeing everything. Like you almost just get KPI reports, and you have like a dashboard, like it says here, you have a dashboard that gives you visibility of what's going on. How many jobs do we have in this stage of the pipeline? How many leads or appointments do we have in this stage of the pipeline? Like they're getting followed up with, or signed contract, right? Like whatever it is. You have that visibility and you have those KPIs, and you're just like, okay, this number looks good, this number looks good. And that's all you're doing, you're not micromanaging absolutely everything that happens, because that is not scalable. Like I said, again, you're capped by you're capped by how many hours you have in the day, right? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for this video. I'm kind of just giving you a rundown here of like how you need to have your business set up in order for you to scale it, right? Because super, super important. If you want some sort of specific like automation video or something on like how I actually set up step by step like certain automations, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to make stuff like that. You could also check out our other videos on our channel going over in-depth stuff on like paid ads and things like that, and like recruiting for your sales team, and even other positions. So check that out, subscribe, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.